want you to know something. That the bigger your dream is, I want you to understand the harder the grind. Listen to me. Luck is for leprechauns, and you ain't green. What I am telling you is that if you're willing to go beast mode, you can have whatever you want. I'm a living example. You can start from nothing. Start from nothing. You know the story. Mom was a teenage mom. Start with nothing. Grandma had 14 kids. Start with nothing. 2-bedroom house, 1 bathroom. Mom got kicked out because she had me. Start with nothing. Start with nothing. High school dropout. Start with nothing. Homeless. 12 years to get a 4-year degree from the university. Start with nothing. If you are willing to grind, I believe effort, and you've heard me say it. You might come from privilege. You might have a father that can give you everything your little heart desires, but you will not outwork me.
And yeah, everyone in the Next Wave Premium, we're going to be continuing to do the backtesting sessions. We're on fire backtesting, so that's really good. That's going to translate over into the signals, I promise. Anyone else who is seriously looking for, mentorship, looking for someone who's been doing this, who knows what they're talking about, who knows how to make money in these markets, if you're looking for someone to hold your hand, that's me. And go to tradethenextwave.com, sign up for the mentorship, invest into that, and within 3 to 6 months, we will have you at a completely different trading level than you've ever thought you could be on. And I don't mean that lightly, okay? Because there are a ton of amazing educational programs out there. You can get all this stuff for free almost if you do the time and digging, right? But there are not a lot of people out there who are going to spend the time in the communication and have the communication skills even to be able to mentor you on the level that is needed in this industry, okay? It's not just an educational course that you get the whole educational course, but you also get mentorship, you get questions, we optimize everything for you. We basically tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. And in 3 to 6 months, you will be family, because we have created so much value together that, and you will have basically created a different trading lifestyle that you ever thought. So yeah, Blake is like a really good testament to the program, to be honest. He has been watching our free analysis for about, I'd say two years since he started trading, really. And he joined just shy of a week ago, I believe. And within his first week, he was able to make his money back from what he invested into. And, that's definitely, not the case always. A little, he was more on the risky side, which is, it is what it is. But the signals that we provided and the knowledge that he has already gained from the educational course and from just being around real traders, he had the confidence to go in and get the bag and get out. And so that right there is the knowledge, exactly what he says in the chat. Blake said the knowledge is priceless. It's not your everyday YouTuber course. It's not IML. It's actual partner mentorship, right? What you kind of wish you would have had when you first started. Okay. The price is what it is, and it's worth every penny, because we have seen how much people actually lose in this market. And if they would have just spent a quarter, a tenth, 100th of that loss on actual mentorship, they would be able to have put that capital to work instead of, having to learn a lesson and then build things up the hard way, like most traders have to do. So that's for anyone who's really actually serious. I'm not talking about nobody who just wants signals. Y'all go find a good trader who gives signals. They're out there too. We're talking about the people who really want to step their game up to the next level, who don't want signals anymore, who want to be able to wake up in the morning, look at the charts, see what they see, maybe talk to us to see if we agree, and then get out. So get us to 300 subs and you'll see the best signals you'll probably ever see in your life. All right. Y'all have a good one. I appreciate everyone. Take care. Peace out. Everybody, it is your boy Petty Pips. Let's turn this light on right here. There we go. Next wave analysts. Great grandfather's Wyckoff. So I've learned a lot from him. Him being my great grandfather and all. He's passed down a lot in my generation, so got to learn a lot from him. Right. All right. So the first thing we are going to look at, of course, it's the fundamentals. See what we got going on this week. It is NFP week, and unemployment rate as well. Unemployment rate hasn't done much the past. It's gotten better, if anything, right? The lower the unemployment rate is, the better. Unemployment rate's at a spot where, the only thing bad right now would just be a big spike in the unemployment. And that could come, right? So we're gonna watch basically the end of the week. Non-farm payrolls, they are expecting a humongous miss. So a literal like 50% decline from last month. So we'll see what goes down. That's not good. Obviously, we'll see what goes down. And when you see bad news for a country, that's bad for their stock market, really, not really the currency, in my opinion. Okay, so if anything, yeah, it's going to be like make the dollar go more bullish. Okay, CPI for the CHF is going to be important to see if their inflation is starting to get better or worse. The CHF is in an important spot. We'll look at that. This will kind of give us a sign into this. Let's see, and consumer confidence on Tuesday. So really, we're waiting on Friday, honestly, and maybe CPI for CHF. The market could move before all of that and price it all in. So if there's an opportunity, I think this week is a good week to look for an opportunity to take a shot. If you're wrong early in the beginning of the week, it's probably going to go the direction you were wrong on. So if you're bullish at the beginning of this week and you're wrong, I'm almost positive it's probably going to go the other way. So look for maybe an opportunity the other way. One thing I'll say before I get into the charts, really, or look into investing.com to make sure everything is, they're not hiding anything from me, is that if you're a trader, you've been trading, you have a good system and you trust in your system, and you take a loss and then you get a setup right after that loss, I believe it's in your probabilities, as long as it all checks out, to take that trade again. And if you lose 2 in a row, go back and look at how many times has that actually happened in the same type of setup. I would say very little. But it looks like consumer confidence, like I already said, not seeing a whole bunch of anything else. Some CPI actually for the euro on Wednesday. We're getting FOMC members speaking on Wednesday. So that'll be interesting to see what they have to say with this bad GDP that came out last month. GDP for Canada. So you got to look at both of these to make sure you're not missing out on some important info. Okay, looks like that's about it. So let's go over to the charts and see what's cracking with the technicals. And ultimately, we're technical traders. Okay, especially, I mean, no, we're both technical traders. We know how to read the fundamentals. We know when it's important. We know the interest rates are going crazy and all that stuff, but really the technicals are going to lead the way. So we're starting on the dollar on the weekly. We're going to look at the monthly at some point this week, because the monthly candle does close in about 3 days and we're getting a very bullish candle. So that's important, okay, to kind of keep in mind. But we're really going to look at that. I'm not going to go to the monthly candles on any of the other charts. Just know that the dollar seems very bullish, even though it is in an area of supply, right? So just because it's in an area at a double top doesn't necessarily mean let's sell it. When you break it out from the higher time frames, this thing is just extremely bullish. So if you want to be the trader to maybe catch the very tip of the dollar and then hold it for fucking 2 years, maybe now's your chance. But if you can't hold anything for 2 years, I wouldn't even consider this opportunity. All right, so let's go down to the daily. One thing I have marked right here is this yearly point of control, which is the most traded price of the year for the dollar. So we have that marked off here, and something else is in that way. So I'm just going to get that out of there. Okay, perfect. And then this zone is a minor zone. You'll be able to see it when we break it down to the daily. And on the daily, I have this beautiful little channel going on. Red lines are the point of controls of the months. So each month's price where there's the most volume, and you can see the month of August, this is the price with the most traded volume. So I personally am still in favor, hopefully, to see the dollar come all the way down into this level. You can see that price loved, when price was here, they just agreed so much. And then it came back here and they agreed so much. So let's come back here. Let's figure out something and then let's go back up to the upside. And that's what I would be looking for. Ultimately, longer term this week on the dollar, that would be kind of like the picture perfect play. I'm not really here for this to hold. Okay, I think this is going to break to the upside. To get a position on it, it would be best to wait for these type of pricings over here. And I'm going to mark this also as a monthly point of control. So you're seeing the volume. You're seeing the volume pick up over here to the right, and volume is liquidity. So when you don't get that twisted. We're going to the 4 hour now, where we're going to see some weekly volume. And this is kind of, I'm going to delete this because we're really looking at this bigger swing right now. We got to put on the weekly volume. And here's another area, wide open weekly volume. So this is all lining up really well for the market to come down here. And if it, if it doesn't, then it's probably just going to take off. But it's building a huge case right here where there's a lot of liquidity. Now, if it breaks there, there is still one more spot down there, but we're not even going to mark that off yet because it's not worth it. And we don't need this daily level really. So this is just the price, and we can mark it off with a clean little zone as well. And we'll make this yellow. All right, so if price can come back into this week, I'm expecting a bullish reaction, big time. But when we go down to the 1 hour, which I'm gonna try to stay off the 1 hour a little bit on this analysis, I want to really maybe stay on the higher time frames. But with the dollar, I like to break down the dollar a little bit more, right? the dollar gave a possibility of a move that it could maybe it doesn't want to come down all the way here, and it could just be sweeping out this liquidity right here. And I mean, ultimately it stole off and made a new high. And with the weekly candle, the way it closed, you know, it closed bullish. Yeah, a little wick, but the wick was from, you know, the wick is because it didn't finish, it didn't have any more time to finish bullish. If this thing just automatically starts to go up this week, that's a sign that this thing is getting ready to really move. Now, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to take a shot at this move here. Okay. And just, you know, if it comes all the way down here, I'll take another shot. But for now, I think this is a good enough setup that we look for. Okay. There was manipulation of these lows here, which, or you can't necessarily just call it manipulation. It looks like manipulation. Okay, a smooth move down, but the volume was just not there until the very end. And then it was a big volume spike with not the biggest candles. And then the next candle just said, see ya, took away that whole price action, and then ultimately made a new high. So I'm looking at this area as, if price comes back into here, these buyers that were here, because this is how this game is played. They like to test these markets to see the path of least resistance. And to me, what this looks like is they tested to see if anyone wanted to sell any more here. Okay, because they sold here. They sold here. They sold here. And then once they get here, they say, all right, let's sell some more to see. Oh, and then they realize no one really wants to sell anymore. There's not a whole lot of supply, a little bit, but not a whole lot compared to what this candle looks like. So then they ultimately say, all right, let's reverse this shit. Let's buy 5 times more than what we just sold. Whoop. And then that's where the volume comes in. So this is how they play the game. They get to do that because they have a lot of money. They get to test us to see what the supply and demand levels really are. All right. So we're looking for buys if the market comes back into basically this level. And then taking out this move up here. And really, since it's so rangy, it's not a bad play whatsoever, right? At all. And manage it as so, because since it's so choppy, none of these like extension plays have really played out. It's just chopped around and chopped around and chopped around. So maybe look for like a 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 type move off of this. Okay, so if I'm looking for this on the dollar, another thing that I could honestly go down into, and I'm going to do this only for the dollar, is I'm going to go down to the 15-minute. And since we had such an impulsive move, and we haven't had a correction yet, we need to see the correction. Now, if the correction starts to actually fall a little deep and gives out the ABC pattern, more like ABC into here, that's perfect buying opportunity for a continuation up. If the correction does this and just kind of falls straight down, that decreases the buying opportunity a little bit. If the correction does this and kind of takes a long time, it is the second best opportunity. And if it goes like this within that and makes a flag, then it creates a higher probability. All right. But if it does this and barely retraces and then creates a new high and gives me some type of divergence to play off of, it might be time to sell or look for this thing to start to correct and try to play a correctional move. Okay. So that's how I'm playing the dollar. That's more of like intraday and long-term. So the euro is the opposite, straight up. The euro is the opposite. And I got a whole bunch of stuff on the lower time frames drawn. So let me delete, and see where we really are. And, you know, I look at the euro futures instead of the actual euro dollar, and then I compare them later. So this made a new low, even though the dollar didn't break the new high. So that's interesting to note, that this euro is very weak, very, very weak indeed. And I mean, there's nothing really to look at it to the left, except let's maybe get into this right here. So this area, what I want to bring out is, no, I don't have this tool favorited. It's okay. But this area here is pretty much the next demand area that I can see. And we're going to bring this like that and this like that. All right. And we're probably not even close to it yet, so that's okay. If I were to expand the range, like this whole thing, maybe I could bring it up to right there to justify for this thing to maybe bounce soon, maybe, but it's not worth calling the super turnaround just yet, in my opinion. Okay, so on the daily, it's looking like it's coming back down. High volume, highest volume we've seen in a while with this rejection. I wanted it to come up higher. It just doesn't look like it's going to get there. I mean, price action is telling me there is some type of bullish divergence here, but it looks like this might have been all the correction we needed. So sometimes I'll go to the lower time frame, one lower time frame below, to see if the divergence hit a 50 EMA, which would balance it out, and it did. So there was divergence, it balanced itself out, and now the divergence is pretty much gone. And we're getting a smooth move down with higher volume. So there's, you know, obviously there's still a chance that this untested volume could get hit way up here. But with that type of price action, we got to play the inverse of the dollar, basically, which is a move up and then another move down. Because this basically did the same exact thing inversely, took out the highs here and then made a move down. So when we come back, I'm looking for sellers to step in again. And then into this area, you got to watch out. So maybe just clear these out and take that trade and not make it come all the way down to this low. So let's go to the Aussie, or the British pound. It looks like I was a little wrong on this guy this week, but that's okay. You don't want to erase, I will erase you myself. Let's go to the weekly. And yeah, we're still bearish. Second, goodness gracious. All right, my bad. We're still bearish. I mean, it's breaking lows. You don't want to try to buy even close just yet, in my opinion. The, you know, falling wedge, it broke out. It just didn't work out on the retest, honestly. So volume's picking up as candles are getting bigger. There's nothing telling me to buy except maybe some 4-hour divergence coming in. A little bit of 4-hour divergence is coming into the party. That's it though. So this swing low, we'll see if this momentum kind of catches up with this. But either way, it's still, you know, we've already had basically double bottoming right here, and this is not even close to double bottoming. So it's a lagging indicator. It does take some time to catch up. I'm sure the next 4-hour candle is going to do something like a big little line like this, a line like this, which is still going to make it diverged, but still the next candle could be huge, and then, you know, divergence is gone. So got to watch out for this, but it's still an opportunity, in my opinion, to look for divergence when GU gets down here, because eventually it's got to, I mean, it doesn't have to turn around, but if this comes down here, we can look for other plays on the pound as well. We can look for the pound to turn around and maybe sell some other sell EG or buy GJ or something, right? That's the only thing I'm going to mark off for now. I think on the 1 hour, the play is the same thing actually. So we're going to mark this off. There's 2 days worth of point of control right here. So let's mark this off. 2 days POC, which is a lot. And if price comes back into, and I don't need this anymore, so let's change this to an impulse fib. And if price comes back into basically a little bit higher than the 2 days POC, I'm going to short the mess out of it. And this looks really good to me, way better than EU. So this is my play on come up here, and then the fib extensions line up perfectly with my divergence fib. And then I would look for some type of reaction here. Scary reaction, but yeah. Going to the Aussie, and the Aussie just missed my swing area that I was looking forward to swing off from. At this point, I'm going to be, it's the same thing. I'm going to be looking for this to ultimately fall from here. So we're going to continue this move up and then down. Easy peasy. I was looking for this to possibly happen as well, and have this extend up and make one more move up. But with the violence of this in the volume, to me, this is what's coming. So I'm not going to draw the fib like that. I'm going to draw it like this. And 1-to-1 off that fib probably will hit, but I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the Aussie to extend down into the area I really wanted to buy from. So here's a daily POC. And by all means, if you notice, that's the 61.8 daily picks. I wait for the 78.6. So if you don't want to do that, these prices are going to be great prices. You know what I'm saying? So just watch for that. This is another one, honestly, where if the divergence really kicks in, I might look for buys. Okay, Swiss franc, like I said, is in an interesting area. Let's delete this and kind of look at this guy right here. It's been correcting so much, and it might be falling. It might be falling off of this just clean supply area. It did break through a couple of weeks of volume and the yearly POC. So that's one thing. If I go to the daily, it looks bearish as mess. It took out these highs with this candle and then completely reversed. So how I'm playing it, I'm going to hope for it to get back here so I can sell it. That's how I'm going to play it. There's a lot of volume. I mean, every week, this is where the most volume was. So I can mark this off like that. Every single week, this is where the most volume was. So you can see there was been a big move off of this, kind of a divergence, and then a big move, a break and retest off of it. Now we're either going to come up off of it or break off of it. I kind of want to come off of it to the upside. So let's see if there's any buying opportunities. And really, there's just not at all, in my opinion. So I think it would be safer to just wait. It does look like it's getting ready to shoot down pretty good as it just took out these highs. So that's probably coming right there, and that's okay because it'll give a spring or something. But this one I don't have a good read on. It looks very similar to the other one, so it most likely will just give that type of move. But I would rather see it go, I think, up. But I don't care. It's not good enough for me. Let's go to the weekly on UJ. and it has not done what I want it to do. Yeah, I mean, maybe it is starting to, maybe it's going to reject here and hold here, but ultimately it's still below the 78.6. I want this to hold and move up. On the daily, we're not getting the price action that we need for this to move to the upside. It does have a little harmonic pattern here, but that's like kind of it at this point, you know, the ABC correction, and it needs to show some type of bullish sign, because the way it ended is definitely not bullish at all. So I guess this has another leg down. The MACD is showing that it can accept some divergence right here. So what that would look like in price, that would look like from this swing to this swing in divergence fib. If price got all the way down here and it still has divergence, that's a buying opportunity. For real. Because the yen's got to do something. They really do. They really do. Let's not get too much into the yen. Let me see the 1 hour real quick. They all look the same. They all kind of make a stop hunt move up and then a drop. So I would say if this is like the style you play, I would just wait for the one that corrects the most and then take that one. Let's go to the next one. Gold, Goldilocks, and 3 Goldies. Goldie swing is working out. It's rejecting right off the yearly point of control, and then it printed a huge bearish candle that week, and then last week it kind of came up and then ended down. So let's go into the daily. And Friday is just a big bearish day with volume. So this should continue to the downside. We should see this continue down at least below these lows into this area right here that we have marked off. Let's go into the 4 hour. And I don't know what I got going on right there, but I'm going to delete that. Okay, we're right into some monthly point of controls. So we'll see how we react off of this. That's very interesting. Let's see what the 1 hour looks like, actually. Nothing I would really want to buy from yet, but that's interesting that we're right into that area. I think selling off of something like this would probably be better. So that's what I'm going to look for. I'm going to look for probably sells off gold in this area. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I like the manipulation it made. I like the bear flag it's making, and I just like the little trend it's in. So I'm okay with it. Next one is, I think, oil. Silver confirmations. Let's see, it's in a buy zone. Okay, it can afford to come down a little bit. It's the bullish divergence here. So if it comes down a little bit into this line and then reacts, that means gold should go bullish. So if gold does come down into here and reacts, that's they're both going to probably go bullish. So we'll have to see what happens with these guys. I'm still waiting on crude to kind of make this move. I think it is going to make it, though. It looks kind of too perfect. So I'm going to fib this here. I'm going to put an alert at the 702. Okay, maybe not. Here we go, 702. And when the market gets back into that, I think there's going to be a bullish reaction, just straight up. This is too perfect of a head and shoulders move. Broke out of the trend. Everything just looks perfect. So looks like a good move to me. The VIX ended up popping, and it ended up really popping again. So here's my take, guys. I've been calling this move on the VIX for a long time. Said these lows were going to get barely swept. I said the pattern, it makes an M, a deeper M, and then goes up. Go back and look at my analysis, how I talk about this M pattern that breaks the neckline of the M and then goes up. Well, we really broke the neckline of the M. If we talking about an M, we broke the neckline of every M. But now we're getting big candles, big volume. This thing is getting ready to go. And if it breaks any of these volume profile levels or level highs or lows, it can go big time, which will send the indices tanking. So that's what we're going to look at. And you can see how it closed. Let's go to the weekly. And I mean, ultimately, this, we talked about it on the Next Wave platform, that how the GDP numbers came out and they were better than expected, and there was a little pop in the price, and we were saying that this is going to be short-lived because negative GDP is negative GDP. End of the week, what do you see? One of the bigger bearish weekly candles we've seen in quite some time, ending this rally, in my opinion. So greater volume than we've seen in the last couple of weeks, which is good. It came straight off the swing zone, which is good. And it's below the yearly point of control now, or the point of control has moved into this area, meaning the most amount of sellers for the month or year have just stepped in. So that could be a big sign. All right. Ultimately, I want to see price get all the way down into here. And that would be a big, scary move, but that's what I want to see. Let's go into the daily. And biggest daily candle we've had in a minute. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to see this. Actually, I want to see a pullback on the lower time frames now. And if we get one, I didn't know it really sold off this hard at the end of the day on Friday, because I really wasn't trading much Friday. But damn. Okay, so this weekly point of control is still here. I'm not sure. Open daily point of control. So there's volume to the downside right here that it needs to come get. I'm not playing probably any buys on this. I would love to play the lower time frame shorts. Once it does retrace, I think it's going to be a perfect shorting opportunity. But that's okay. They dropped really fast, and whew. Let's go see the other ones real quick on the lower time frames. So they all did the same thing basically. And yeah, big ass move right here. Let's compare these real quick. Yeah, they broke down. They broke down big time. We'll see one more. Dow broke big. Yeah, I mean, we can't not be bearish on them. Are we looking for buys? Like, is that the question? No way. So we'll be waiting for retracements, really. And this is the kind of markets that are weird because they're so imbalanced that I get kind of like, I don't want to just sell from a 78.6 because it's a good price, because I see like, well, in this example, 78.6 is the perfect spot. But if I was selling from the 61.8, which is like right here, I would see all of this imbalance and I would say, price is probably going to get up there. So this is an interesting one. I'll keep it right here, but these are probably just going to tank and not give us any type of entry. Honestly, it's okay. Bonds are going up still, so that's kind of a reason why I think these are going down, because if investors can invest into a bond that they're for sure going to get their money at, then why would they invest into a speculation like anything risky? Okay, so that's the thing behind that. If these keep climbing, which let's go look at more of a weekly. If these keep climbing, we're going to see the stock market really fall. And we just put in a bullish candle that broke the high. So yeah, it's starting to diverge, definitely. And it's starting to, top out. But if these keep going up, those are going to keep going down. Now, if we see a big snap in these, like I'm talking daily snap, big snap, then we're probably going to see the bottom of the indices. But until then, these are gone. These are gone. Same thing with this. It's still going up. I know it's, if this fib level holds and it snaps down, we're probably done for. But then if it holds in this level, and it makes a macro move like this and gives just a complex pullback, that would be something else. That would be so wild. So we got to watch these bonds. I know a lot of people don't watch the bonds, but if the bond market is doing good, the stock market is usually doing bad. Let's see what we got next. Crypto, perfect. And getting one of those days, aren't we? Oh, this is CME. So it's closed on the weekends for CME, which is how I like it. And I'm going to delete this and just speak about what we got going on. So obviously this fib up here never got hit. I'm going to delete the fib and just keep the zone. So that was kind of like the fib zone, and it kind of maybe hit the 61.8 or the 50%. And it looks like it's already starting to sell off, which was essentially the top of the channel as well. So now that we've broken this structure and we're breaking this structure, we're wanting to see if this structure is going to break and if we're going to get a pullback worth playing. Because if so, if we get a pullback like this, we're going to look for probably new lows to be made. Just because this is playing out too picture perfect, and we don't see any reason to be buying just yet unless you are buying on a long-term scale, because $20,000 is a good price for Bitcoin. It is, but not something, we're going to tell you to buy on margin. All right. We're getting close to the 78.6 of this swing as well. And there's a monthly point of control down here. There's a lot of areas where this could go up. I don't want to say it's going to go down, honestly, because number one, I'm going to buy for the swing. Number two, I'm seeing the divergence here on the 4 hour, and it looks pretty sweet. All right, so let's go here. And we're pretty close to that divergence fib, pretty close to that 78.6. It's a lot of confluence. So that's that. And that price is 20,125. So what I'm going to do real quick, because we're almost done with the analysis, I'm going to throw the other Bitcoin chart on here, the one that's moving right now, since I am in a trade. And I'm going to go ahead and look at that one. As well. Now I said 125. So let's do this. Coordinates 125. All right, so that's kind of like the divergence entry that I got going on, because the spot in the futures are going to be a little different. The swings, the everything's going to be different. So you got to know how to do that, and that's what I'm here for. So this is going to be the divergence on the CME 4 hour, and I know we're on the daily over there. CME 4 hour, and then we have a 2022 or 20,220, 20,220. So 20,200. And this is going to be the 4-hour 786 swing. Okay, so we have some important areas from the future, and I guess we should put this on there. Do you have a video explaining the difference in the futures chart versus the standard charts? I see my gold and Bitcoin are way different than the futures. I don't have a video on it, but I can explain it in a separate video for you, definitely. I'm going to mark this price off as well because it is a monthly area where there was, or maybe it was just a weekly. Hold on. Yeah, monthly prices. So what's this? 19,750. Okay, and this is a monthly POC that hasn't been tested. All right, so this is also an important number, 23,315, 23,315. Okay, 23,315. That's funny. Okay. And technically I need to call that another monthly POC. So these are my ranges. Okay, now I can go onto this chart and we can talk about it a little bit more live. Let's go to the weekly and let's go to the monthly. And I'm on a log chart, so let me get out of that. So the month is about to close in a couple days, and guys, it doesn't look good. Okay, it doesn't look good whatsoever. This reminds me of when you're in like a 1-hour trade and you like think the market is going to go up at a certain spot, and then it makes a bullish engulfing candle, and you're like, ho, ho, ho. And then the next candle is a bearish candle. And you already know what happens next. So most likely, we're not going to see this thing just stop here. And let me tell you where all the bottom, no, we're not seeing tweezers on the monthly. We're not going to play that one. We're going to see the liquidity and how everyone is going to see that because they're taught that in retail. That's the only thing they know. So it's not tweezers because it's going to close completely bearish. So there's not, and tweezers is more like this. So this is just a baby wick. The wick needs to be bigger than the body for it to be considered a tweezer. So this is just normal price action. We're getting maybe this right here to be some good rejection, but I wouldn't call it tweezer. This is going to slide through, people. And if you aren't prepared for that, I'm sorry. We have been talking about it for so long at this point, it's embarrassing. And this is the area where you need to look. You need to look for the 11K. And I mean, look, it's structure. It's nothing special. That's going to be the first area that price genuinely just slides straight to because there's no other volume in the way. You see how fast price moved here? There's nothing. Let's put it this way. Back here, do you think there was any sellers? If there was, what happened to them? They got wrecked. So back in the past, there was no other order besides one order. It's going to be the same way through this way, but the opposite side. And so when price gets down here, If it gets all the way down into these like 3K levels, don't be surprised, but it should stop around this level. And I'm talking about this right now because it could happen this week. It could happen in 2 days because Bitcoin does crazy things. Because look, this candle right here that slipped through this was only 1 week or month. So this could be 1 month. Let's go to the weekly chart and see what we're really looking at. Now, I'm not saying any of this for anyone to get scared or anything, or if you have a bag up here for you to like dump it, because this is going to be one of the best buying opportunities of our little short bear crypto market, whatever this is. This could be the bottom. Okay, so this was an area on the higher time frame, right, on the monthly, that we were looking at a high volume area. There's also this right here, which is a yearly POC. And what year is it from? 2020, the craziest year people have seen in forever. So 2020 yearly POC. And I'm just going to delete this now that we have that. And ultimately, long term, I think that's not hard for the price to get to at all. Like, it's really not hard for price to drop a little bit more percentage from where it's at. It's only a 50% drop, and crypto does that. That's what it is. Think about all the people who have gotten in at this price, or even worse, think about all the people who have gotten in here and the pain. They really didn't feel much pain, okay, until now they've felt pain. So how much pain have they felt? Let's talk about them from just right here. They're in 34% drawdown on their account. That sucks to see. When they see 68%, that could cause liquidations. That could cause big events, and this thing could go even further down than people want it to. So what I'm going to go to look at, though, is the 4-hour now. And we are in somewhat of a swing setup here. So, you know, I'm not loving it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not loving it, but it's definitely there, right? So we entered at the 78.6, and then we have some other orders stacked below. And we're looking at the divergence here on the 4-hour. Okay, and what could happen is this could move. I mean, it could do anything, but what could happen to kind of throw us off is if it comes up here and then makes another move down, and then the divergence just extends. Okay, that could be that would be kind of like the worst place scenario, to where we would have to play the buys again and add to the position, because here's our stop losses down here. So it's a little scary. It's a risky buying play. It's basically a Wyckoff schematic 2 scenario, meaning this might not get broken and this might not get broken. So if it's not going to get broken, this could be the ultimate low that sends it up. And that's kind of how we see it. We're playing it with like half risk, 1%, something small, nothing big, but the opportunity is there. We want a little skin in the game. All right. And then with Ethereum, it's basically the same thing. It has the same similar divergence as it has made this lower low, but it has a different type of swing to me. Yes, you could be playing this swing, the same exact swing that we're playing on Bitcoin from the same date at the same area, and it's most likely going to pop, or it's most likely going to do a similar 3-wave move here. Okay, but look at right here, we have little to no volume right here. So what that's telling me is that if price basically doesn't hold right here right now, we're coming down into these prices, which is, 12, 10K. And if I keep that there and I fib this whole, let's see, fib this whole impulse, that lines up nice with my fibs. So I'm personally going to wait for Ethereum to come back here. Lines up very nice with structure. And here's my thoughts. I'm just more bullish on Ethereum than I am Bitcoin. Next wave students, I have something for y'all. A cold little divergence package that I have dolled up for Ethereum, basically to really take advantage of this next possible move that I'm seeing for Ethereum. But this is the gist of it for the public. I just have a lot of confirmation about it. So we're looking for, a move out of here, possibly even up here with the merge happening. Now, if it doesn't work out, it's okay, because that's $1,200 pricing for Ethereum. And yeah, if it goes lower, you just buy more. But either way, it's still good pricing. Looks like a good floor at 12K for Biddy. Yeah, I agree. And ultimately 10K it could be it. If I'm bringing a divergence fib out from this whole shindig right here, this is what I'm looking at. So look at that. The divergence fib lined up perfectly with that in a way. So that's clean as hell. That's a price right there that it's like automatic strike price. You got to strike there. I don't care. For Ethereum, 12 for, well, that's interesting that that's fucking weird. Let's go 12 floor for Ethereum. Look, I'm not saying 12 floor. I'm saying 12 is a perfect buying opportunity, because 12 floor to me is like, we're just not there yet, in my opinion. But I would love to see 12 be the floor, because we're in here. Okay. And if people who don't know, we were on a Zoom call when prices were doing this move down here. So we still are up 63%. And we've taken partial profits. So we're ready to load those partial profits back up in right here and be okay with that, because we've already secured some baggage, right? Let's look at Tether real quick, because Tether has been the Tether dominance has been correlating pretty well with things. So let's look at that. We got Tether to the right, and we have the, let's see, is this open 24/7? I think it is. So we're going to put the Bitcoin 24/7 up on here. All right. And let's compare these, because, and here's the kind of the trades we're in. It's not a big deal. Let's go to the weeklies. And I'm going to have to hide the drawings, and that's cool. All right. So obviously this thing has just been going up and up and up and up and up. And, for anyone to say that Tether is like going to die, because I hear that because Luna died. Let me tell you all this. If Tether dies, I think the whole crypto market dies. So let's just be frank about that. This thing looks like it's getting ready to make another higher high. And if it's not, we're just timed a little bit off, just a little bit, because this is a very impulsive market. It's gone up, 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 up. And yes, it can still kind of correct maybe a little bit more into this area, and that would have been ideal. but it didn't. It stopped before it got there. And that's usually a sign of a stronger market than you even think. So as it's making two bullish engulfing candles now, the probability of it continuing is increasing. Yes, it can still do this impulse, then A, B, C, and then make this move up. But ultimately, I do think there's going to be another wave up in the USDT dominance. And ultimately, it's because that the momentum is just converging. And until I'm a divergence specialist, I can trade tops and bottoms of markets very well based off of momentum divergence and volume divergence. The only thing diverging here is the volume a little bit, but the momentum here is still suggesting, even if there's lower volume, this momentum here suggests that there should be one more move to the upside regardless. Okay, so this move coming should bring another move up around the 10% area. And since we have a correction, we can fib this for the divergence fib. And one of these days, I'm sure divergence fib will be well known in the community. We'll see. I'm not here to trade market or anything. And it's not here to be a trade like that even. It's just an area where you want to look for the market to turn around at. So if the market gets all the way up here, okay, and then the MACD doesn't even get close to this high, and then you're seeing the uptrend, and then the momentum does this, that's when we're gonna know, okay, that was the top of tether, possibly, because right now we don't have a possibility of the top. The momentum is increasing, so the probability is it's going to keep going, just like a trend trader knows how to trade. Once we see the divergence, it's game over. Okay, that's when we can actually say there is a probabilistic chance that Bitcoin could be at the bottom. Now, you can say that at any point, right, and technically be right. At any moment, there's a probability. We're talking high probabilities, okay? At any moment, anything can happen in the market. But we don't know if tomorrow that Ukraine is going to announce some type of sanction or something's going to, we don't know anything. All we know is what the price is telling us and what the volume is telling us and what the momentum is telling us. And the probabilities is how you really determine what you know, right? Because you don't know anything, but you do know your probabilities. And the probability suggests that once we get the divergence in the USDT, okay, we could see, let's go to the daily here. Are we on weekly here? No, we're on weekly here. Let's go weekly again. Okay, the divergence could set in to the upside on Bitcoin. So right now the momentum is starting to creep down again, but ultimately it needs to come all the way down to this negative area all the way down here. And if it doesn't reach that by the time, and another thing I want to talk about is this red line, it's broken out of jail. That's what it's called, break out of jail. If it's outside of the MACD, that means the momentum is this way. If it's outside of the MACD this way, that means the momentum is this way. And I'm not here to explain this indicator, but one thing I'm noticing is that it is already outside of the red. So if it comes back, it could do just like a retest of the red and then come back in and then form this bullish divergence as price makes this lower low. That would be the ultimate case. So where is the price ultimately for Bitcoin if it makes the divergence low? Yeah, 12.8. I thought I marked it. Oh, well, it's a different chart. 12. Boom. Divergence. Fib. Daily. Really weekly, it doesn't matter. Okay. Because you can see this on the daily as well over here, 1 day. And this looks like just a bullish flag that's expanded now, right? A big impulse. We had the correction. And then already marked that off. Let's grab this. Just kind of expanding out of this triangle pattern. And this is not clicking. There we go. So this looks like it's going up. And you know, a correction on the lower time frame may be coming, right? Because we do see this divergence here. Oh, we're getting something. Markets are open. So I am expecting this correction, but ultimately we're probably going to see one more move up to form the 3-wave divergence that I've been talking about, or we're going to see a complex correction where we get like an A, B, this would be B, and then this would be C wave right here, and then another move up. So we could be seeing that, and that would send Bitcoin up again. That would send Bitcoin up like this. That would send Bitcoin up like this, this, this into this area. So if that's lining up too, if that happens, we're selling still. But ultimately, if there's a chance now for scalps, that's what we're looking at. And then there's a chance if this is the week, where it breaks down to 12K, don't shit your pants. Look to fucking buy it for real. All right, that's the end of the analysis. I appreciate y'all for coming on. We'll catch up Tuesday. AB is going to be live trading, and I'll probably come through Wednesday or whenever the monthly candles close to do a monthly macro analysis, because those are important as well. And yeah, everyone in the Next Wave Premium, we're going to be continuing to do the back testing sessions. We're on fire back testing, so that's really good. That's going to translate over into the signals, I promise. So that's really good. Look forward to that. And then anyone else who is seriously looking for, you know, mentorship, looking for someone who's been doing this, who knows what they're talking about, who knows how to make money in these markets. If you're looking for someone to hold your hand, that's me. And go to tradethenextwave.com, sign up for the mentorship, invest into that. And within 3 to 6 months, we will have you at a completely different trading level than you've ever thought you could be on. And I don't mean that lightly, okay? Because there are a ton of amazing educational programs out there. You can get all this stuff for free almost if you do the time and digging, right? But there are not a lot of people out there who are going to spend the time in the communication and have the communication skills even to be able to mentor you on the level that is needed in this industry. Okay. It's not just an educational course that you get the whole educational course, but you also get mentorship, you get questions, we optimize everything for you. We basically tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. And in 3 to 6 months, you will be family, because we have created so much value together that, and you will have basically created a different trading lifestyle that you ever thought. So yeah, Blake is like a really good testament to the program, to be honest. He has been watching our free analysis for about I'd say two years, since he started trading, really. And he joined just shy of a week ago, I believe. And within his first week, he was able to make his money back from what he invested into. And, you know, that's definitely You know, not the case always. You know, a little, he was more on the risky side, which is, it is what it is. But the signals that we provided and the knowledge that he has already gained from the educational course and from just being around real traders, he had the confidence to go in and get the bag and get out. And so that right there is the knowledge, exactly what he says in the chat. Blake said the knowledge is priceless. It's not your everyday YouTuber course. It's not IML. It's actual partner mentorship, right? What you kind of wish you would have had when you first started. Okay. And you know, the price is what it is, and it's worth every penny, because we have seen how much people actually lose in this market. And if they would have just spent a quarter, a tenth, 100th of that loss on actual mentorship, they would be able to have put that capital to work, instead of, you know, having to learn a lesson and then build things up the hard way, like most traders have to do, you know? So that's for anyone who's really actually serious. I'm not talking about nobody who just wants signals. Y'all go find a good trader who gives signals. They're out there too. We're talking about the people who really want to step their game up to the next level, who don't want signals anymore, who want to be able to wake up in the morning, look at the charts, see what they see, maybe talk to us to see if we agree, and then get out. So get us to 300 subs and you'll see the best signals you'll probably ever see in your life. All right. Y'all have a good one. I appreciate everyone. Take care. Peace out.